Hey, you want to see something really scary?
You bet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is really, really scary now.
I trust you.
Hello, Internet fans. It's your old pal Rottin Roger DeMarco here from RepulsiveReviews.com. This week, we're going to be talking about Sonny Laguna and Tommy Wickland's 2018 film, Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. Okay, so here is the plot rundown. Edgar is going through a divorce, so he moves back in with his parents. When he gets to the house and starts to settle in, he goes into his brother's room, who has passed away. He finds a box of toys, and in this box of toys is a very creepy new generation Blade puppet, which he believes is an Andre Toulon original puppet. And it just so happens that there is the 30th anniversary of the Toulon murders. There's a big convention where collectors are bringing their original puppets and auctioning them off. Edgar, his friend, and his new love interest go to this convention to sell the puppet. When they get there, all the puppets come to life and start killing everybody. That's pretty much the plot. But before we get into any of the crazy stuff, first, let's take a look at
Rottin Roger's Splatter Facts.
We have 25 dead bodies. At least, that's how many I caught, because it was crazy. If you caught more than I did, let me know in the comments. We have 7 titties. We have fetus stealing. We have puppet people puppeteering. That's hard to say. We also have multiple off-screen murders, so it's really tough to get a final tally. The methods of death include, but are not limited to, decapitation, torched, slashed, gutted, climbing through the vagina and out the stomach, throat slitting, de-ribbing, chopping, skull crushing, child chopping, accidental suicide. This is sort of a reimagining of the Puppet Master franchise. They changed a couple of things here and there. In the original Charles Band universe, Andre Toulon was against the Nazis, so he made these puppets, and he's killing Nazis with these puppets. This movie, he is a Nazi, so the puppets are Nazis. So they kill everyone that the Nazis disagree with. They're killing interracial couples, lesbians, black people, but that's all this is. This is a popcorn movie. Back when the original Puppet Masters came out, we had the video store, so we had the amazing cover art. More often than not, you'd get duped by a full moon movie because it had beautiful cover art. The movie itself would not be that great. There's a handful of them that are fantastic. This one is sort of a love letter to that heyday, that video store splatter movie. This has a lot of ridiculous, over-the-top deaths. It's got a very dark sense of humor. I really like that about this movie. I think that it's not necessarily like a fresh thing because we have a lot of horror comedies now, but I think this is a good Saturday night movie with your buddies. You just want to watch a body count pile up. You're not going to think too much about this movie. You're just going to have a good time. Udo Kier takes over the role of Andre Toulon. He kind of has a really good time being a terrible person. You know, this gross old racist fuck. Kind of awesome. Barbara Crampton, who was in the original Puppet Master, has a pretty significant role in this movie as a retired police officer who now gives the tours of this murder that happened 30 years ago, the big massacre. She kind of steps up to the plate. She's a badass, fucking shooting puppets and saving lives. I always butcher this guy's name. I always call him Michael Pear, but apparently it's Michael Perry. He's in a ton of genre films. He is sort of this like straight-laced detective trying to figure out why people's puppets are missing and then trying to figure out why people are being murdered. He's like the logical character. Tate Steinsick, who was on Face Off, did the effects for this movie. This is just a portfolio for him that he can show anybody when he applies for a job. He delivers some amazing looking puppets. He delivers fantastic gore gags. He knocks this out of the park. Super talented dude we should pay attention to because he's gonna start fucking owning shit. Thomas Lennon, who most people recognize from Reno 911, he plays the lead character, Edgar. He does a very good job of being serious when he needs to be serious, but also the spark that comedians have where he can just turn it on. He can deliver a line deadpan and it still be super funny, and I think that's part of his genius. He really kind of runs away with this movie. It's nice to see him be a lead. Hopefully this turns into a franchise, because that seems to be the end game. So if this becomes a franchise, we might get to see him 1 or 2 more times before they kill him off, because that's usually how it goes. Survive through one, you're getting offed in the first 15 minutes of the second one, but maybe they'll keep him around for a while because he's so good. Thomas Lennon's son actually has a really small part in the movie where everyone is outside trying to get away from the killer puppets. He doesn't make it. And it's pretty amazing that Thomas would let his son be in this movie, let alone just be an extra, but then also get killed. So that's pretty fun. Another really weird thing about this movie is that most of the Nazi relics that are in this movie are real from World War II, which is pretty nuts. Pretty crazy. It adds a little bit of just the whole mythos of these Nazi puppets. The designs of the puppets is pretty faithful to the way that they were in the originals. Tate puts a little bit of a tweak on them. It's kind of strange to see Blade doing his thing and have a Nazi armband, Torch, or Pinhead. It's a little strange, but this, take it or leave it. There's going to be people who really like this movie. There's going to be people who really hate this movie. I don't think there's going to be an in-between. I think if you're a Puppet Master fan, if you like the original 5 Puppet Masters, then we're going to start trailing off. But if you like those original 5 for puppet violence, you're going to really, really have a good time. This is not a Full Moon movie, but Charles Band was attached. This is what we need more of. Full Moon, the stuff that they're putting out lately, it's not exactly the quality that it used to be. There's nothing wrong with them continuing to push out content, but some of their stuff is a little lower end. So it's nice to see a property like Puppet Master get a little bit of love. I mean, it might not have been a great budget, but certainly better than Charles Band can do on his own. And I love it and I applaud it. With all of that being said, it is not a great movie. There's a lot of things that don't flow right. The timeline between Edgar and his new girlfriend is not very clear on how long they've been together, how long has he been divorced, how long has he been staying at his parents'. So that leaves a little bit to be desired, at least for me. And then I do have to say that as much as I love the high body count, this movie did just kind of feel like a compilation of murder, which I've said before, I like a high body count, I like a little bit of gore, but then again, we're getting into this splatter for the sake of splatter. I mean, it is part of the story. The puppets are revolting, taking out everybody, but it's so over the top, so rapid fire. These are just bodies. I don't even know your name. Lady number 4, dead in the bathtub. Who cares? There's no investment. So I don't care if you're having sex with the giant boob blonde girl and your Achilles heel gets slashed. In my opinion, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 blood drops. I would have went a little lower, but this movie is super fun and I want them to make more because this is a fucking fun Saturday night movie. Popcorn, candy, your buddies, do it right. Try and keep track of all the fun stuff you see and let me know if I missed anything, god damn it. Because after all, there is a lot of movies out there and somebody's gotta watch them. So why not me, right?